بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وأصحابه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers.
Walaikum
Walaikum
salam wa
salam
rahmatullahi wa
wa
barakatuh.
All right, first off, if you're watching this podcast, bro, I'm gonna need you to subscribe, I'm gonna need you to like, and I'm gonna need you to comment down below feedback, suggestions, join the Quran community. If you're not already in there, if you have any questions, reach out to us on Instagram. Let us know any concerns you may have. Because why would you not want to be learning the Quran from certified teachers who can help you memorize the Quran with tajweed?
Yeah,
And
what
share the
he
video.
said.
Okay.
Dude, you always talking when I'm talking.
Nah, for real, bro. Y'all got the same name. You think it's your turn
we
to
got
talk?
the
Hey, bro,
same
because,
name.
bro,
He
you
be
trying to
listening
be
to
like
the
me
same
so
reciter.
bite.
He be listening to the same reciters as me. You got
Man,
the same-
look, speaking of that, look, right now we're sitting here setting up the podcast equipment. I start playing Chef Shanaim, so on Noor. He's like, wait, hold on. You was listening to Chef Shanaim? And I was like, yeah, why? And he's like, bruh, I want to switch it up today. I want to listen to something else. So I turned him on today. And now, look, you listen to him too.
That was crazy. All right, now let's get into the podcast episode. Listen, and I know exactly how we're going to start this one.
Okay.
A lot of people, they don't realize that their five senses, how much they sin on a daily basis. Their eyes full of sin, their ears, what they hear, full of sin, what they speak from what comes out of their mouths, full of sin, what they eat, full of sin, what they touch, they're sinning. They don't realize they're like, the word ghafla, they're heedless. They don't realize it's like they're walking through life and it's like they're asleep. Like you sleep. You don't understand. That's why in the Quran, Allah talks about taqwa to protect yourself. People don't know about that.
You know, the crazy thing is, what you just said is like we're heedless. We are actually heedless because you might be scrolling on social media and you may stumble upon a post or something or a video that you're not supposed to be looking at. There may be something like a woman who's uncovered or something. You shouldn't be looking at that. You should be lowering your gaze. And either you're staring at it, looking at it, you may scroll past it. But even if you just scroll past it, you should low-key just say astaghfirullah even then. Because if you don't, even though like the first gaze is not haram upon you, correct?
Mhm.
If you still feel that remorse in your heart that, dang, I shouldn't have even looked at that. Like maybe I shouldn't have even been on this app at this time or something. Like, you know, if you just try to protect yourself in any way, shape, or form, that's a sense of iman. Because the further that you go to try and protect yourself from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created that is evil upon us, then the better you'll be, the better you'll like your heart will be, the better off you'll be in life. Because sometimes I'll go at it and I'll be seeing it and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just the first gaze, you know. But then I'm like, in my heart, if ever a situation arises and I'm outside, I'm like, bro, what the hell am I doing? What are these people doing out here, man? Why am I caught staring at them, bro?
Yeah, bro, I start to get angry. Dude, whenever, and it's just the exact scenario you described. Whenever I'm scrolling and I see perhaps it's someone dressed not modest, I get pissed off. I'm like, I scroll real fast. I scroll so fast, or I'll be like, damn, like I'll be like, oh my god, and then I say astaghfirullah. I try to forget it in my head because I know how the waswasa it starts. Because you might not think, but those looks, those creeps that they don't accumulate, they accumulate. They build up until you're staring. Now you're clicking on the profiles. Now you're like, oh, what's this? What's this? What's that?
Look, that's actually what I wanted to talk about. How you really do have to protect yourself on social media, because it is a dangerous place if you don't protect yourself in the correct way. Because everything that you look at, everything that you listen to will enter the heart, right? And when it enters the heart, then it becomes an issue, right? Because like you said, you just go down this rabbit hole. First, it starts off with a look, then it starts going on to their profile, then it starts, whatever it is, up until you end up in haram, right?
And then
look, hold on. It could have easily been prevented, right? Because in Islam, we believe in prevention over cure, right? Had you listened to what Allah said, had you lowered your gaze, had you not been listening to the music, right? Because that's another thing, right? Like when we're scrolling on TikTok, on Instagram, it's so easy to end up on a video that's playing music, right? And you're just sitting there, you're listening to it. You might be a person who quit music, but yet when you're on social media, you're still listening to it. So in reality, it's still entering your heart. It's still having an effect on you, right? Until one day, you might go back to listening to music because, you sit there constantly listening to it. You're like, oh man, I miss listening to this song. Let me go back and listen to it. And then, things just start from there. It's crazy.
I like how you made the connection between the gaze and the heart. Because it's just like you said, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, tell the believing men to lower their gaze and be modest. There's a connection between gaze and modesty. The less you lower your gaze, the less modest you're gonna be. You become desensitized to it. We hear it all the time.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the Prophet say that iman and modesty, they go hand in hand? When one is lost, then both are lost, or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah. Right. And then look, I wanted to say something. I wanted to elaborate on something.
What What were you trying to say, bro?
Cat-
See, this is what I was
Cat
talking
got
about,
his
bro.
tongue,
You
bro.
talking too fast for its own good. Like,
Bro, brain moving 1,000 miles per hour.
no, see, okay. Um, this act of
Oh,
lowering.
yeah. Okay.
Okay,
I found
finally.
it. I found it. Look, I wanted to talk about people who struggle with lowering the gaze. They come up, bro, like they'll come up with 1,000 excuses for themselves. Like me included, bro. Like astaghfirullah, I think me and Q, you'll come up with 1,000 excuses. Oh man, when I get married, it's gonna stop. Oh, I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Nah, it was just one time. I'm a changed man. I'm this. I'm that. But like, bro, if you think that when you get married, you're gonna you're gonna stop doing all that, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself because ultimately it's between you and the commandment of Allah. It's not about marriage. It's about Allah told you not to do this. You don't do it. It doesn't matter how appealing it is.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, just to go on top of that, you're telling me you would lower your gaze for your wife or your husband, but you wouldn't lower your gaze for the sake of Allah? I mean, you got to think about it like that as well. Like people will be willing to do certain things for other people, like their husband or wife, right? They'll treat them like gold. Of course, like there's nothing wrong with that, but like you got to think about it. You do things for the sake of Allah first. You do things only for His sake, right? And then after that, everyone else comes afterwards, right? So if you're not putting Allah first, then you already have a problem, right? Doesn't matter if you're lowering your gaze. If you're not doing it for the right reason, then don't be expected to be rewarded by Allah.
And it's like people they forget about Allah. And it's like Muslims, like it's like it creeps up on you. You don't even realize. Sometimes you'll go throughout your day. The only times you remembered Allah is when you prayed, and like subhanAllah, alhamdulillah for that, alhamdulillah for the prayer. But like think about when you love something, when you love someone, when you love anything, you'll think about it a lot. It runs through your thoughts. How come that's not the same with Allah for us?
Yep.
We should be like if you think about Allah almost all the time, all day. When you will get up for the night prayer, when you get up for Fajr, when you get up to pray your actual prayers, like your Fard prayers, that connection is gonna feel so much more. Like it's gonna feel complete because you're remembering Allah. Like it completes that love that you say that you have for Him.
I want you to think about this, right? Someone they may have a wife, like you said, like they think that they're gonna stop, they're gonna lower their gaze whenever they get married. Let's talk about the married person, right? They have a wife, right? And we've seen many cases like where people they'll be happily married, and then all of a sudden, they'll be caught doing certain things, like watching pornography or doing, things behind their spouse's back. But like, why is that, right? Because you didn't lower your gaze. If I like this example that Mufti Mink always brings up. If I had a phone, right? Like let's say it was an iPhone 12, right? I had this phone and I never saw the latest phone, right? I think I have the best phone in the world, right? And it works the same exact way with the things that you have right now, whether it be your car, your house, your wife. If you never like looked at another person's things, you would think that you had the best thing in the world. But the moment that you open up your eyes to the next thing, you start wanting that thing, and then you want this thing, and then you want that, and then it just never stops, right? You're gonna always be chasing something that you can never attain.
And it's like, bro, subhanAllah. How many, like you guys know those Reddit stories? I've heard so many stories off of Reddit about pornography breaking people's marriage.
Oh, matter of fact, all right, go ahead, and I'll add on to that.
It's actually like subhanAllah, and it's crazy because a lot of people, especially in this day and age, pornography. Hold on. Let's get the facts straight. Let's use logic here. Pornography is $1 billion industry. Somebody's out here consuming. There's a lot of people married. $1 billion. Like, bro, subhanAllah. Like you out here, people throwing money. Like there's people consuming this. There's a lot. It's business there. People don't even know about this, and it's crazy because like people have been brought up into this. They started when they were kids. They were watching this stuff. They were doing this, and they get addicted. Now it's a habit, and now you're 20, 23 years old, 26, 27. You're getting older. You're still doing the same thing that you've been in the same thing. You never cared to stop.
I saw this video that Abu Taymiyyah, may Allah bless him, he actually spoke upon this, but he said nowadays it's getting easier and easier to do those things, because before, it started off on paper, then they had those big desktops, those computers, right? No one would dare to watch that like in their room, right? Or like underneath their bed sheets, right? But now it's getting a lot easier. Now they have these little phones, these little tablets that they can store underneath, and they can watch whatever, and nobody would know, right? Except, of course, other than Allah. But the thing is that things are a lot easier to access, right? It's a lot easier to access the haram, right? And speaking of on stories, right? There was a story of this brother. He kept committing zina. He was a married guy, right? But there was nothing wrong with his friend group. He had a friend group of Muslims. They prayed. They always called to good. But yet, why did he fall into these things? Because social media. He's sitting there on his phone. He has something that's so easily accessible that he can go to, right? With the click of a button, fall into haram, right? Zina of the eyes, whatever it is. And, all of a sudden it leads to whatever it is that he's doing. Everything around him was good, but yet he surrounded himself with what he saw on social media. And there you go. That was the fall of him. That was the doom of him.
And people don't think that this zina of the eyes, just seeing something that you're not supposed to see on the internet is not as, it's not as detrimental to your iman as it really is. And really, like, if you're someone who can go about your day seeing something like that and not thinking anything of it, going about your day, praying your prayers, then I would really fear for myself, because that's shaitan, putting the thoughts in your head that, oh, it's not that bad. It was just a look. It was just a little gaze, bro. You just watched a little video. Nothing happened, But then the next one, you're gonna be like, you're gonna go even further than that. Oh, hey, wait, hold up. Let me go follow this person. Like, they're beautiful. Lowering my gaze, like I it's not that bad. What, seeing her, not that bad. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. And I'm gonna keep going. Keep following these women. Keep following these women. And then go on apps that expose even more. Because on certain apps, you can only expose a certain amount. But then there's other apps that you can expose everything. So then you're gonna end up watching those OF models and this and that. And now you're in a spot that you're addicted. You can't get out of it now. Now lowering your gaze seems like something that's impossible for you. It's like the addiction of alcohol or weed or anything like that. Now it's like a drug to you, and you can't escape it.
And look, and you know what's crazy? In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the people who will go to Jannah, those who meet Allah with a salim heart, like a heart that's free of impurities, a submitting heart. That's why when Allah talks about people, when you enter Islam, when you accept Islam, accept it wholeheartedly, everything. So when you have these thoughts where it's like, oh, it's just a little look, it's just this, it's just that, you got to get rid of those. Like, you got to get rid of those impurities of the heart. Like, even if it's a small sin, you got to get rid of those impurities. You have to clean the slate, wipe the slate clean, try your best. And the biggest impurity is shirk. And then just look at where, like, zina may fall on that. Think about how that affects your heart.
I mean, it's one of the major sins.
That's what I'm saying. When you keep on committing these the you're just driving yourself towards shirk, towards the biggest impurity.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like you said before, that you're heedless of it. You're not going to notice that you're doing this.
That's what I'm saying.
You're actually not going to notice, and a lot of us will be guilty of this. And I'm not afraid to admit that, there's been times where I've been guilty of myself not noticing that, like, oh, I've been heedless to this. And then I'll realize, because I'll be sitting in prayer thinking of something that I wasn't supposed to see, even though I didn't look at it too long. But then I'm like, why the hell am I thinking about this? Like, why is this in my head? And I know that's what's from the shaitan, but it's like, I still feel guilty about it, because even if it was one gaze, I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have even been there. Like, what brought me to this area, huh?
Look, it brings me to this ayah in the Quran. I don't remember the surah it's from, but it appears multiple times throughout the Quran, actually, where Allah says Allah will inform you about that which you used to do on earth. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, we already know what we did sometimes, but like, it's just like you said, sometimes we don't realize, like, you don't even realize it. Sometimes you don't realize there's people here on earth that think they're doing good, but they're doing bad. Surah Al-Baqarah, first beginning chapter. There's people that think they're doing good, but they're really doing bad. They don't check themselves. They don't stop to reflect. Whenever they wake up in the morning, they think everything is good, and they don't think about what they did yesterday. And they don't think about what they're going to put forth tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next day. Like, they never think about it.
Bro, think about being heedless and social media. You said you only, like, you saw something, you weren't supposed to look at it, even if it was just for a second. But what happens on social media? Where they're endlessly scrolling, right? Sometimes you might look at 12 different things you weren't supposed to see. You might have only thought you saw 3 things, right?
Yeah.
Because, you sat there, you forgot. But yet all 12 of those things, you might not remember, but all 12 of those things still entered your heart. You still saw those things. You still engage with those things. And that's why it's important that you cleanse yourself on social media. There's ways to protect yourself with social media. Because I remember, bro, like, my social media, like it used to just be filled with all this crap, bro, until, I had to sit there and clear myself. Like, for example, the first thing, all those meme pages, right? Like, I remember I used to sit there, I want a good laugh out of a meme page. And then all of a sudden they're posting, OnlyFans models.
I swear, bro, I started making my own jokes. I couldn't deal with them anymore.
All right. And then yeah, the next thing is, all right, you start unfollowing those meme pages, but yet you already viewed those things. So now it's popping up on your explore page. All right, now I got to get rid of those things too. Start liking more Quran verses. All those posts you see about Islam or things that you know that you like that are halal, go ahead and like those posts and save them, because sometimes we sit there on Instagram, we don't like posts, we don't like to save them, but you have to understand like those
The
those likes,
algorithm.
yeah, that's what will pop up in your feed, right? So the more you start liking those posts, the more it's going to show up in your feed, and then all of a sudden, like I remember I got to the day where like my whole explore page is just cars and Quran, like and Islamic, reminders, and that's exactly where I want it to be. But yet the algorithm changed so fast, all that was gone like the next day. So I had to keep on it.
Bro, subhanAllah, you know what's crazy? I used to do this trick when but now I really try not to use Instagram and like TikTok and stuff like that anymore. But I used to use this trick. Whenever I used to see like stuff I wasn't supposed to see on my Instagram or For You page, this is exactly what I would do. I would find a Quran video and I would click on it, I would like it, spam like it, I would comment, and then I would just leave it playing for like 10 minutes by itself. Then I'll refresh, and my entire For You page or entire Explore page was just all Quran. I'd be like, dang, like it worked. I'm like, I beat the algorithm. I beat the algorithm.
The algorithm's gonna it's gonna what's it called? It's gonna recommend videos that you engage with over and over again. So if you loop a video, it's gonna give you stuff that are like this. So then similar so people who are engaging with things similar to this, they're gonna recommend that to you so that you could see it. Because like there's been times where, let's say I'll watch a video like twice and it'll be something random. You know, it might be like a TV show or something on TikTok. And then the whole For You page will just be clips from like this TV show. And I'm like, or edits or something. I'm like, bro, I literally just got on TikTok. What do you mean? Why am I getting all these videos? But it's because I watched that one video twice. And I went through all the comments and stuff. So the video kept looping in the background and stuff. So then TikTok was like, oh, he liked this video? All right, bet we're going to recommend more like this.
You know, it's crazy. It's like, you think some people, they think that they control their algorithm. No, the algorithm's controlling you. You buy what it tells you to buy. You watch what it tells you to watch. You scroll what it tells you to scroll. You keep on going. You keep on going. They're feeding you all the things you want to feed. 3 hours, 4 hours. You don't even realize what goes by.
Those are your precautions that you can take. But if you can't even control at that level, get off social media. Delete it. It's not for you. All right, because that's the other thing. Like,
hold on, but like, listen, you got to realize that's not easy though. Nowadays, social media is the main.
Did I say it was gonna be easy?
You said
I say it was gonna be easy?
You said it like it was easy.
Look, listen. I'm not here to make it sound easy. I'm here to tell you that it's possible. If you can sit there, you can delete the socials. There was a time in your life you did not have social media. I can guarantee you can live again without it. All right?
Okay.
Even if that's a means of protecting yourself.
Let's talk about the flip side real quick. So lowering the gaze, it's prescribed upon men and women. But we know that in our nature, it's harder for men. Men may have a harder time lowering their gaze. And I'm not saying that it's not a struggle for women too, but a struggle that some women may have that men can't necessarily share is the innate nature to want to be seen, to want to show off. Women were blessed with, amazing hair, amazing bodies that they were told to cover up by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's understandable that if you're happy with who you are, with what you look like, that you'd want to show yourself. You want to be seen, right? So that's why, there's such a high reward for lowering your gaze and also covering yourself up. Covering yourself up is also mandatory upon men, but they don't have to cover as much. So why do you think it's not as hard for us, and why we can't understand the struggle it is for a woman to have to cover her whole body up from head to toe? Understand? So something I want like people to think about, I've had these conversations a couple times where I've talked to a sister and I'd be like, what do you think about this? And then they start to see the perspective. Because I didn't actually think about it until I saw a video about it. So then I had to start asking people because I needed to experiment for myself. Like, what do people think about this? I can't just go out there and saying like women just want to show off or something. Like, no, I'm going to sound like misogynistic or something. Going to have all the feminists coming at me. But this is why, like, I fear this obviously the public space.
But
because it wasn't around.
Here's also the thing. It's also like, especially like, okay, we live in America. To put it in like a different perspective, we live in America. A lot of people, like a lot of women and men, like they don't cover up like as we per Islamic standard. So you could imagine like a Muslim woman or a Muslim man living here, and they see if I were to go to my university with a thoban, like I wouldn't expect much like for example, if I were to sit at a table, I wouldn't expect other people to come sit at the table with me unless they're a Muslim. Like I wouldn't expect like that's to be expected. So imagine a woman wearing a niqab in America and she's going to a university or she's going somewhere, like the looks that people will give her, like you could like there's an understanding fear behind that. But there's great reward in obeying Allah's commands.
And you're right though, like living in a country that's doesn't live by Islamic standards. So obviously these non-Muslim women, they're pushing women to uncover more, to say like this is empowerment and stuff like that.
And here's the thing, that's their prerogative, but like per Islamic standard, like you call yourself a Muslim. This is what Islam believes. Don't try and intermix and mix it up like, oh, we can, like, you can't live the best of both worlds, and that's subhanAllah, you can't live the best. That's just how it is. Like I remember when we were in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, like things like this, it wasn't even a thought. Like the way, like wearing a thobe in public, like it's normal. We were looked at weird for not wearing thobes. Like if you wore shorts in Saudi Arabia, they'd be like, what's going on
Where you
here?
from, Jit?
Like they know you're not from the land. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna look at you like a foreigner. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's understandable, especially if you're in a Western land, you know, and you're seeing all these people. They're uncovered. They're like wearing all these new styles, new clothing, and whatnot. And they're pushing it onto other people, pushing their styles onto other people. So it's understandable, like seeing that struggle. That okay, like you have to cover up, you know. And I know that it's not always the easiest thing. So that's why you always try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Because what if they just came at you harshly for something you're struggling with? Oh, like I saw you like that video. Why? What are you doing, huh? Like that's a woman uncovered in that video. Why are you liking that? And you just be like, man, I'm trying. Like you know, just assume better of me. You know what I'm saying? Like just make dua for me or something like that. But then you know you'll have men who go to a woman or her comment section saying, oh, if you're not gonna wear the hijab, right, don't wear it at all. Like what type of example are you setting for other men around you or for other women around if they're struggling with the hijab? If they just adopted it yesterday, you're gonna tell them that.
I
Like,
understand the nature of the statement. You basically just told a woman to take her hijab off. Like, come on, bro. Come on. You gotta, bro. A lot of people, we gotta live our lives. Like, you gotta live your lives. You gotta have fear, hope, and love for Allah. So you gotta have love for His commandments and love for Him. But you also have to fear, like, the statement that you're saying. You gotta understand.
hold your tongue, bro.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta hold the tongue. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk about it at all.
No, but you're so like you're speaking very much facts right now, because remember what we talked about before about good deeds, the nature of good deeds, right? So if you're doing a specific good deed, but you're not doing it to the highest order, you're still gonna get good deeds, but you may not get all the multiplications of a good deed that you couldn't be getting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Because obviously there's so many different things that go into a good deed. It could be your intention, it could be the action itself.
Put it in perspective. Let's say I give $1 in charity, but that was my last dollar. That dollar in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's eyes could be worth $1 million.
Yeah.
Because behind the intention, behind the scenario, the situation, all of it for the sake of Allah. That behind it.
Now, if you're making 100K in a month and you only donated $1 from that 100K in 1 month, you're still gonna get a good deed.
You're gonna get
that's charity. That's a goodly loan for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's not the same as someone donating all that they have. Same way if you're praying, right? You prayed. That's good deeds, khalas, right? But there's levels to prayer. The level of khushu' you have in your prayer, and like all the conditions that make a perfect prayer. If you have a perfect prayer, you're going to be better than the person who doesn't have a perfect prayer, but they're both going to get good deeds. They're both rewarded for that.
And see, here's the thing. And I'll like to, like, you know, transfer into like people giving advice or giving, like, sharing a piece of knowledge. I'll never understand people who give advice not out of sincerity, but out of to try and yell at someone. Like, some people be out here giving advice just to yell at another person. They want, oh, I learned this. Okay, let me try.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, they want satisfaction to the idea that, oh, I know this, you don't.
Recognition.
Yeah, recognition. They want to seem smart. They want to seem intelligent. Like, I will never understand that. And that's one thing I love about my brothers. Because anytime I've ever received advice, it's pure sincerity. If they didn't have no advice, they wasn't telling me.
But hold on. What do you in reality, what do you think is worse? Someone out there trying to give advice, but to show off, or a woman showing off her body? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that guy who's showing off, you know, sitting there giving advice in a harsh way, not in the right way, just to be looked at in a great way, like, under a woman's post who's showing off. Like reality, you probably worse.
That's shit. That's shit. That's like that. People don't know that minor shit. The minor shit of showing
off.
Like
you said, bro, being heedless. Like you're in a place that you shouldn't have even been.
And it's like you're so heedless, and then you think you're right, and you live the rest of your life like
Hold
that.
on. Hey, remember that skit that we made about a year ago? It was, I see these brothers in the club, and it's like, and then everyone in the comments is like, "What are you doing in the club?" It's the same type of situation.
Yeah.
If you weren't even there in the first place, how can you have room to sit there and talk about what's going on? You see what I'm saying? Because if you didn't put yourself in a bad place to begin with, you would never even be giving this person advice, right? You can't just walk into a nightclub and be like, "Yeah, I was just here to give da'wah." Like, come on, really?
And I'll put also, I want to look at it from the other perspective. People receiving advice. When people give you advice, you got to look at it as like, dang, he really looking out for me. That's love. That's really love. And I'll put it in perspective. There's videos on Deentour you'll never see ever again, because we perhaps may have done something that wasn't correct, and people said it in the comments, and that video went down immediately. You're never gonna catch us risking a moment of joy for our entire akhirah. Never. And you know exactly what I'm talking. Me and Hussein, we've had these conversations. Yo, we'll talk about it and be like, oh, you know what? Just delete it, and we live our lives. Alhamdulillah.
And
It's
whoever
never
leaves
worth it.
something for the sake
of
of Allah,
Allah.
Allah will replace it with something better.
Exactly.
It's
And we
never
ask
worth
that
it, though.
Allah uses us and not replace us.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, what Usman's saying is right though. It's like, it's never worth, any type of attention that you're gonna get to do something that may be haram for you. And if you're not sure, it's better to leave it off regardless. And there was a video we just saw right before this, talking about when he has the same halal to haram ratio as me. And I love to address this point. I've used to see this all the time. Like since I started using social media more back in like 2021, all the way up until now, people talking about the halal to haram ratio, and I'm just like, so wait, you like willingly do certain things that are haram for you or something?
you
Like,
know
what
what's
do
so
mean?
crazy? Today's the day. What day is it today?
Friday.
September
September 13th.
September the 13th, 2024. That's the first time I've seen a video like that. Halal to haram ratio. I never in my life. But like you said, look at it since 2021. I never in my life seen a video like this. When I first saw it, I was shocked. Like, what are you doing it for? You doing it for likes? You doing it for comments? You doing it for followers? You doing it for all three? Like, when is it going to be enough? The video gets 100,000 views, you want 105,000. It gets 105,000, you want 110,000. Like, it's never going to be enough. Whatever that you're chasing, know that you'll never attain it, you'll never achieve it, and you'll never be satisfied.
It's like, what does it imply? What do you mean halal to haram? Like, you willingly say that you do haram. Like, of course, I know we all sin, but we're not going to willingly admit that we sin. We're not going to willingly say that, we go out talking about, hey, should we go drink alcohol now and go pray later?
Bro, I'd be
It's
like,
like-
bro, man, I committed 10 good deeds for the day. Man, all right, time to go commit 3 bad deeds. Like,
Like,
Bro,
what are
like,
you,
what-
what are you talking about? Like,
bro.
like, I can hear it in your voice. You're physically, like, you're getting upset. Like, and bro, I'm like, what are you talking about?
you know what's so scary about that? Those 3 bad deeds, I know I'm going to go commit. I know I'm going to be punished for that. Those 10 good deeds I committed, I don't know if they're accepted. Think about that.
Oh my God.
Bro, I could be in the gutter now. I could be negative.
We're gonna
Like-
go respond to that video. You gotta say that.
No,
That was that.
Like, hold on. I
Subhanallah.
need everybody who's gonna be like watching this, listening to this, to like deep what Usman just said, bro. Because if you go out, or not even just go out, if you have like a certain criteria for what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, right? In terms of what's halal and what's haram, and okay, there may be a difference of opinion on this thing, but I'm still gonna do it just because like it doesn't seem that bad. Allah knows my intentions. If you're that type of person, that you wouldn't put something off because you're like, if you're unsure or something, or if you see the difference of opinion, in other words, choosing your desires, then what does that say? Like, how can you go about talking about like your good deeds are going to be accepted when bad deeds are accepted?
Look,
Allah will take your bad deeds all day long, bro.
like, bro, subhanallah. Like, this is an example from my life, bro. My beard, dude. I've had this beard since I was like 13, bro. I had to go through it. I was in middle school, end of middle school. People, you look like an old man. You look like this. You look like that. Shave the beard. I had to block out the noise. Cause, bro, this was my thought process every time I wanted to go. I'll be in the mirror. I wanted to shave my beard. This is the thought process. Like, I can't willingly like do haram. It's just like that. Like, how do you willingly do haram? Like, you're gonna be punished. I know I'm gonna be punished for that. And then fast forward years later, the same people, not the same people, but like people, they come to me and they comment about my beard. They were like, man, mashallah, like, how you get it like that?
Yeah.
What type of oils you use? I was like, nah, you wasn't there when I was down.
That reminds me of that one quote. They laugh at you at first, then they ask you how you did it.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
He just said you wasn't there when I was down.
Bro,
Nah, because, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of us, 20 years old, mashallah, we trying to grow a beard, but, we can't do
Nah,
that.
for real, bro. In the beginning, every single comment when we were starting this account, bro, every single comment talking about, brother, why don't you grow a beard? I'm like, bro, like, you
Bro,
think I'm willingly not trying to?
Salah, you guys think they're like, bro, Hussein doesn't even own a razor. He can't shave his beard. Like, what are you talking about here?
Talking about, brother, why don't you grow a beard? Like, what do you mean?
I'm trying.
I'm trying, bro.
Matter of fact, bro, look, speaking of that, like, this is something recently, right? So I was talking with someone, and he was like, bro, why don't you just cut that off on your face? I was like, what do you mean, bro? He said, look, He said, look, you're 20 years old, right? I said, yeah. He said, look, we can tell that you're young, right? Because it looks like you're trying to grow a beard, but you just can't grow one, right? And I'm just like, all right. He said, bro, just cut it off, bro. Just trust me, bro. It's going to look 10 times better. And I was like, all right, whatever. Even if it does look 10 times better, right? Because, obviously I know I can style, things differently. But it's just like, bro, if I do that, I'm falling into haram.
Exactly. It's
I
like, I
like-
can't willingly do
As a
it.
matter of fact, bro, when someone tells me to do that and I go ahead and I listen to them, I'm not going to let them win. Right, I'm letting them win. The shaitan win.
Yeah,
and then I'm going against Allah.
It's like,
bro, I'm in loss. I'm lost, bro.
It's like, bro, it's like coward.
Like, bro,
Oh, word.
like I can never just sit there and fathom me falling like submissive to another man, bro. Like, never, bro.
Like, why are you so
What the
worried about
heck,
my
bruh?
beard?
Like, I submit my will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and
Yes,
you want me to
subhanallah.
listen to you, bro?
And exactly, it's like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created everything
Wait.
created everything, right? And he created Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, best of creation. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had a beard. You don't think that's the best too? Bum?
Nah, but like, look, you got to think about it. Like, back in the days, or even today, I don't even got to say back in the days. Today, right? The non-Muslims will laugh at us for cleaning ourselves up after using the restroom. If that doesn't say enough, then I don't know what else will, right?
Man, you done did it now.
Because like, you
Bro,
got to
you
think
done
about
did
it, right?
now.
Like, you sit there, you can ask the most like simple question back to them. You're telling me the rest of your body. All right, when your hands are dirty, what do you clean it with? Oh, water. All right, after you use the bathroom, what do you use? Oh, just paper. Like, what the hell? Imagine your hands are dirty and you sit there and you're like, just wipe it off with a
Bro,
napkin.
and they be shaking your hands and what?
It's not just that, bro. What you just said is for everything. Like, not letting another man win over you.
Exactly,
like,
bro. It's
listen,
all consistent.
You submit solely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that goes with everything in life. This is a life lesson to everyone. Well, if someone tells you can't do something for your career, for your family, for your deen, whatever, don't listen to them. Who are you trying to please? You're trying to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If this thing that you want to do brings you closer to Allah, if it can be something that can be of success for you in this life and in the hereafter, then why wouldn't you do it? Why would you listen to someone else? People are envious of you. People don't want the best for you. Trust me, nobody in this world wants the best for you besides maybe your parents and your very close family. Everybody else may feel envy for you, no matter even your closest friends. That's why you keep the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought you into this world with closer to you. You keep them closest first. Because if you have a loving family, bro, they're gonna want the best for you, because that is part of what loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is for, is loving your family, being close to your family, not cutting ties of kinship. Now, if you can live your life doing anything that you set your mind to while still prioritizing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and prioritizing the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam before you and your deen, then you're gonna be successful. And nobody can tell you otherwise, because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to help you, then none can stand against you.
And hold on, just to add to that, nobody wants the best for you. I like how you mentioned that. That's true. Except also for the true Muslim, because the true Muslim wants for his brother what he would want for himself.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. We can end it right there.
And I love that. Yeah, and I love that. Bidnillahi ta'ala, that's gonna end this podcast. Inshallah. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got a little laugh out of it. We're telling a little comedy joke. Bro set up
Man,
I started telling my own jokes.
No, bro, where you get that from?
But like I said, let us know what you guys want to see us talk about, inshallah. We're very open to feedback, inshallah. So if you want to hit us up on social media, comment on our YouTube or something like that, let us know. But with that being said, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Make sure you share this with your with your friends and family. You never know whose life you can change by sharing this. Make sure to join the Guided Success community. We're also students of knowledge. We're not scholars, so we're open to correction. That being said, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.